Imagine waking up tomorrow and finding out you can't buy a new iPhone. Gaming consoles are sold out. AI companies suddenly stop releasing new models. Car factories begin shutting down. Even major tech companies like Apple and NVIDIA watch their stock prices collapse. It sounds impossible, but all of this could happen if one company stopped operating. A company most people have never even heard of. It doesn't make smartphones. It doesn't sell laptops. It doesn't advertise on TV. Yet it sits at the very center of the modern world. Its products power everything from your phone and laptop to military equipment and artificial intelligence. This is the story of TSMC, the silent giant behind the world's most advanced technology. Every modern device has one thing in common. Inside it is a tiny piece of silicon called a semiconductor chip. It may be smaller than your fingernail, but it's the brain of the entire device. Every tap on your phone, every Google search, every YouTube video, every ChatGPT response, every AI image, none of it happens without chips. Over the last 50 years, these tiny pieces of silicon have become more powerful than anyone thought possible. Today's processors contain tens of billions of microscopic transistors packed onto a chip no bigger than a credit card. Manufacturing something this complex isn't just difficult. It's one of the hardest engineering challenges humanity has ever solved. Only a handful of companies can even attempt it, and one company does it better than everyone else. The story begins in 1987. An engineer named Morris Chang had spent decades working in the semiconductor industry. He noticed something strange. Companies like Intel designed their own chips and manufactured them themselves. But building factories was becoming unbelievably expensive. What if companies could simply focus on designing better chips while someone else built them? At the time, almost everyone thought this idea would fail. Why would billion-dollar companies trust another business to manufacture their most valuable technology? But Chang believed trust could become his biggest product. So he founded Taiwan Semiconductor Manufacturing Company, or simply TSMC. It became the world's first dedicated semiconductor foundry, a company that manufactures chips for everyone, without competing against its own customers. It was a simple idea, but it completely transformed the industry. Today, Apple designs the chips inside your iPhone. NVIDIA designs the processors powering artificial intelligence. AMD designs gaming chips. Qualcomm designs smartphone processors. But here's what surprises most people. None of them manufacture their most advanced chips. Instead, they send their designs to TSMC. Why? Because building an advanced semiconductor factory is one of the most expensive projects on Earth. One cutting-edge fabrication plant can cost more than $20 billion. That's before producing a single chip. The factories must be cleaner than hospital operating rooms. Even a tiny speck of dust, too small for the human eye to see, can ruin an entire silicon wafer worth hundreds of thousands of dollars. So rather than spending billions building their own facilities, many of the world's biggest companies rely on TSMC instead. That makes TSMC one of the most trusted manufacturers on the planet. Making advanced chips requires technology that almost feels like science fiction. Some of the machines used in semiconductor manufacturing are the size of buses. They contain more than 100,000 precision-engineered components, and they use extreme ultraviolet light, a wavelength so precise it can carve microscopic circuits measured in nanometers. Each machine costs hundreds of millions of dollars. Installing just one can take weeks. Without these incredible tools, modern AI chips simply couldn't exist. These factories run 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, producing millions of chips that quietly power the digital world. Here's what makes TSMC even more important. Most of its cutting-edge manufacturing is located in Taiwan. That means a huge share of the world's most advanced chips comes from one island. It's one reason governments around the world are investing heavily in domestic chip production. The United States, Europe, Japan, and others have announced major funding to strengthen their semiconductor industries. But building a factory is only part of the challenge. It takes years to train engineers, develop manufacturing expertise, and achieve the precision needed to produce the world's best chips. That's why TSMC remains incredibly difficult to replace. Artificial intelligence has changed everything. Companies are racing to build bigger and more powerful AI models. Cloud providers are expanding massive data centers. Demand for advanced chips has exploded. Many of those AI chips are manufactured by TSMC. Every time demand for AI grows, TSMC benefits. While companies compete to build the smartest AI, TSMC quietly builds the hardware that makes it all possible. In many ways, it's selling the picks and shovels during a modern-day gold rush. Most people will never own a product with TSMC's logo on it. You'll never walk into a TSMC store. You'll never queue to buy a new TSMC device. But every day, you'll use technology that depends on its factories, from smartphones and laptops to artificial intelligence, electric vehicles, medical equipment, and even space technology. TSMC doesn't need to be famous, because while the biggest tech companies fight for attention, TSMC quietly builds the future behind the scenes. Sometimes, the most powerful company in the world is the one you've never heard of. If you enjoyed this story, hit the like button and subscribe for more deep dives into the world's biggest companies, billion-dollar business models, and the hidden strategies that shape our everyday lives. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.